Then he wrote, they don't care about us. They don't care about us. They who? See, he's sending his people messages out of his pain. They don't care. Skinhead, deadhead. Everybody gone mad. Situation, aggravation. Everybody allegation. In the suite, on the news. Everybody dog food. Bang, bang, shot dead. Everybody's gone mad. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Beat me, hate me. You can never break me. Will me, thrill me. You can never kill me. Jew me, sue me. Everybody do me. Kick me, kite me. Don't you black or white me. That's what Michael was talking about. They made him go back in the studio and change those words. And Michael was labeled anti-Semitic. Tell me what has become of my life. I have a wife and 2 children who love me. I am the victim of police brutality. Now I'm tired of being the victim of hate. You're raping me of my pride. Oh, for God's sake, I look to heaven to fulfill its prophecy and set me free. Skinhead, deadhead, everybody gone bad. Trepidation, speculation, everybody allegation. In the suite, on the news, everybody dog food, black man, blackmail, throw your brother in jail. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Tell me, what has become of my rights? Am I invisible because you ignore me? Your proclamation promised me liberty. Now I'm tired of being the victim of shame. They're throwing me in a class with a bad name. I can't believe this is the land from which I came. You know, I really do hate to say it. The government don't want to see. But if Roosevelt was living, he wouldn't let this be. No. Skinhead, deadhead, everybody gone bad. Situation, speculation, everybody litigation. Beat me, bash me, but you can never trash me. Hit me, kick me, you can never get me. All I want to say is, they don't really care.
What's up, everybody? How are you doing? I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. Now, more evidence still coming out proving how Michael Jackson was innocent. And this is after so many years of Michael Jackson being accused of being a pedophile, being a child molester, and everything that happened during that time. But and I still insist that I think the world needs to apologize to Michael Jackson. Because you can probably see the reaction of people when he was trying to tell people that, you know what, I'm innocent. And these people, they played me. They played me and framed me to be the person than who they are. But Michael Jackson was really trying to protect the kids. He was a person who was always fighting for the rights of kids. Because I understand this comes from his part of history that he has gone through as a child. Michael Jackson grew just like any other child, although he grew with a lot of musical pressure from families born out of several siblings. But he was one of, most talented kids in out of them. But one thing that still stands until today he signed a contract with the Sony company. The CEO, that's the Tommy Mottola. The recent case scenarios that are showing, they're showing that Tommy Mottola, they are associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And we are seeing all this bunch of white kids that they used to molest, that they used to do all these things to, right? So the world didn't believe to Michael Jackson. The world didn't believe in Michael Jackson. And he tried to tell them that, hey, man, I'm innocent. In fact, I'm trying to fight for all the kids, right? So there's a song called Heal the World. Yeah, Heal the World. He released Heal the World in 1993, which he also performed during the Super Bowl. That's the 1993 Super Bowl when he performed Heal the World. And you could definitely hear the message in the song. The song went something like, heal the world we live in, seeking for the children. Heal the world we live in, seeking for the children. Something like that. Those were the last parts of that song. And it showed, indeed, that what Michael Jackson was saying was the truth. And it was the one who was always trying to fight for the kids. But that was not what Epstein and his group wanted, because they definitely knew that this person will tarnish our name. And so people are coming out and talking about this. I want us to watch this video. This is people's reaction in real time. And people are really getting to see that indeed Michael Jackson was innocent. Brothers and sisters, I'm your host and presenter, Eugene Docu Stories. And thank you for tuning in. So let's watch the video. I'll be back.
I ask all of you to wait and hear the truth before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like a criminal, because I am innocent. I have been forced to submit to a dehumanizing and humiliating examination by the Santa Barbara County Sheriff Department and the Los Angeles Police Department earlier this week. They served a search warrant on me, which allowed them to view and photograph my body, including my penis, my buttocks, my lower torso, thighs, and any other area that they wanted. They were supposedly looking for any discoloration, spotting, blotches, or other evidence of a skin color disorder called vitiligo, which I have previously spoken about. The warrant also directed me to cooperate in any examination of my body by their physician to determine the condition of my skin, including whether I have vitiligo or any other skin disorder. The warrant further stated that I had no right to refuse the examination or photographs, and if I failed to cooperate with them, they would introduce that refusal at any trial as an indication of my guilt. It was the most humiliating ordeal of my life, one that no person should ever have to suffer. And even after experiencing the indignity of this search, the parties involved were still not satisfied and wanted to take even more pictures. It was a nightmare, a horrifying nightmare. But if this is what I have to endure to prove my innocence, my complete innocence, so be it. Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. If I am guilty of anything, it is of believing what God said about children. Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. In no way do I think that I am God, but I do try to be God-like in my heart. I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false. Again, to my friends and fans, thank you very much for all of your support. Together, we will see this through to the very end. I love you very much, and may God bless you all. I love you. Goodbye.
And that 10-year-old Wade had slumber parties with Jackson, sleeping with him in the same bed.
Yeah, you know, there's been different times where it'll just be me and Michael. Then there'll be other times where he has other friends over, too. This is what, like what Brett said, it's just a slumber party. We just have a lot of fun.
And, you know, I've slept in the same bed as Michael. It's just you watch cartoons, you fall asleep. You know, it's just a friendship. And I know he would never do anything to hurt my brother. He's the nicest guy you've ever met.
I've been there when these kids have been in Michael's room. I've been there with them. It's just party time. They watch videos, they eat junk food, they play video games. They play so hard, they fall asleep. They're exhausted, they fall asleep.
Now,
There's nothing more to it than that.
From your standpoint, does it seem unusual for a 34-year-old man to have kids sleeping over?
Not when you know Michael's background. Under normal circumstances, possibly yes. But Michael, everybody knows he didn't have a childhood.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy?
Yeah.
Show me where he touched you. No nonsense, no shenanigans, but he's a weird...
Why was it important for you to stick up for him? Because he's always been a friend to me. That's what you do for friends, you tell the truth. I'm starting on Cirque du Soleil, Michael Jackson show, which is, you know, exciting and terrifying all at the same time because it's such a huge responsibility. But that was why I took it on. You know, Michael was such a huge part of my career and life. We were friends for 20 years before he passed, since I was 7. So it's an opportunity for me to give back a little bit to his legacy. It's such a big part of his legacy, and to make sure as much as I can that it's done right and that it really represents his essence.
They were not in my bedroom. I won't live there ever again. I'll visit Neverland. It's a house now. It's not a home anymore. I'll only visit there. What time is it? Because I'm hurting. I don't feel good.
Right.
That's really overdoing it. And they took knives and cut open my mattresses with knives. Just cut everything open.
Did they take anything from Neverland?
I'm not sure what they took. They never gave me a list.
But you're saying that they destroyed your property.
Yes, they did. And then what they did was they made everybody that work at the property, they locked everybody out of the house. They had the whole house to themselves to do whatever they wanted. And they totally took advantage. They went into areas they weren't supposed to go into, like my office. They didn't have search warrants for those places. And they totally took advantage. And the room is a total wreck, they told me. And I don't think I want to see it. I'm not ready to see it yet.
So you haven't been back there?
I've been back there, but not in my bedroom.
Above his wrist is where the police handcuffed him. How did they do it? I mean, what did they do?
With the handcuffs, the way they tied them too tight behind my back.
Behind your back?
Yeah, and they put it in a certain position, knowing that it's going to hurt and affect my back. Now I can't move. It keeps me from sleeping at night. I can't sleep at night.
And Jackson says there was more.
One time I asked to use the restroom, and they said, sure, it's right around the corner there. Once I went in the restroom, they locked me in there for like 45 minutes. There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad. Then one of the policemen came by the window and he made a sarcastic remark. He said, does it smell good enough for you in there? How do you like the smell? Is it good? And I just simply said, it's all right. It's okay. So I just sat there and waited.
For 45 minutes?
Yeah, for 45 minutes, about 45 minutes. And then one cop would come by and say, oh, you'll be out in a second. You'll be out in a second. Then there would be another 10 minutes added on, then another 15 minutes added on. They did this on purpose.
What about Jackson's allegations? Was he mistreated?
What happened at the house? That's what all these things are concerned about.
That's what's so weird, you know.
What did happen?
Nothing happened, you know. I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games, you know. We played it at his amusement park. Well, the thing is with that whole thing is that, you know, they go, oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him. It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories, and it has like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario. And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last like 30 years, or, you know, and so he's not very good at communicating to people, and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. You know, if someone had done something like that to my kid, I wouldn't just settle for some money. You know, I'd make sure the guy was in jail. You know, and it just really goes to show. I mean, as soon as they got the money and they ran. I mean, that's really what happened the first time.
So you mean to tell me the Epstein files reveal that Michael Jackson was actually trying to help the kids by taking them to Neverland to get them away from the perverts? Do y'all know what that means? So according to the new Epstein files info, Michael Jackson created Neverland to be a safe space for kids to go to get away from the perverts like Epstein and Diddy. And since Michael Jackson was about to expose, or was in the middle of exposing them, allegedly, that is why he got took out, allegedly. I still don't think y'all understand the gravity of this situation now. So now the whole conspiracy theory with Diddy and the coroner and somehow that Secret Service or agent or whatever, Fahim or whatever that guy named that worked with Diddy, who many conspiracy people were saying had something to do with MJ being taken out of here. Now that all kind of makes sense in a sense. And so since Michael Jackson was trying to take down that whole perverted scheme, they flipped it on him and made him look like he was the predator. And I'm talking about Michael Jackson. When all this time it was a bunch of bullshit. And it was them trying to protect their self. And in turn, they shitted on Michael Jackson. And I don't like it. What if I told you?
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein's island. And because he was going against their regime, they punished him and they flipped the script and made it appear as if he was the one abusing them, when in reality they were abusing them, and he was protecting the children, he was protecting the celebrities. And you have celebrities like Macaulay Culkin who've gone on record to protect and defend Michael Jackson. This all makes sense. It has finally come together. This man has been dead for so long, but now it's coming together. That's what the little birdie told me in the little research I did. I am appalled. Not only did he protect the children from the physical things that were being done to them, and you know what I'm saying, you just social media, gotta be careful, but he also were protecting them from the social and emotional abuses that were occurring by advising Britney Spears to get out from under her dad before the conservatorship and things of that nature. This man was a lifesaver. Nonetheless, those of you who are like me, help me fact check this, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure this is right, but this is what I've been hearing up to this point, and it all makes sense.
And most importantly, you want to know who's not in the Epstein files? Our king. Our king. Michael Jackson, the Prince of Pop, is not in the Epstein files. And while we're at it, since it's Black History Month, did you know that he was acquitted of all the PDF charges that were brought against him? You know the media never went back and cleared that up. They just tarnished his whole legacy, and he's still known as that to this day, even though they took it to court and he was acquitted of all those charges. So if there's a PDF file island and Michael Jackson was known or accused of being one of the biggest PDF files in the industry, I feel like he would have been on there. Although they didn't let any N-words on the island, it's Michael Jackson. If he was part of that whole gang, I think he would have definitely been welcome there, but he wasn't. Our king was not on the island, okay? Long live Michael Jackson. We can enjoy his music in peace. So I know a lot of us are disheartened by the people who are in that file, but let's celebrate the people who are not. And let's start with Michael Jackson.
What's wrong, Michael? I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand it. What do you mean? Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they can shoot me. Really?
Michael Jackson was innocent and he was framed. Oh my God. I have never heard of somebody being in the Epstein files for the correct reason and it saved his reputation. Usually you get your reputation just completely destroyed. But Michael Jackson's GOAT status just got solidified because this guy didn't do anything. Apparently whenever he went to the island or whatever, he was shooting the kids and he was trying to bring them to Neverland. Well, whenever everybody was talking about, oh, he brought them there and he was doing all this stuff to the kids. No, bro, he was there. They flipped it onto him. He was the good guy and they didn't like that, so they flipped it all into him. Oh my God. Like a lot of people say, we are at the tip of the iceberg right now. There is so much more to unveil about Michael Jackson and what really happened because, bro, if you listen to that phone call that got released in like 2016, I think it was, whenever I was listening to that in 3rd grade, I knew something went down with this dude, bro. He didn't, do what he did like they're saying. There's legitimately no way after listening to that phone call, you didn't think something was going on with him, bro. Like 100%, not a doubt in my mind, it was not, what happened, what really happened. We need to unveil it. I really hope more information comes out because apparently this is what's coming out now. And bro, there's a lot more.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein's island. And because he was going against their regime, they punished him and they flipped the script and made it appear as if he was the one abusing them, when in reality they were abusing them and he was protecting the children, he was protecting the celebrities. And you have celebrities like Macaulay Culkin who have gone on record to protect and defend Michael Jackson. This all makes sense. It has finally come together. This man has been dead for so long, but now it's coming together. Not only did he protect the children from the physical things that were being done to them, and you know what I'm saying, you just social media, gotta be careful, but he also were protecting them from the social and emotional abuses that were occurring by advising Britney Spears to get out from under her dad before the conservatorship and things of that nature. This man was a lifesaver. Nonetheless, those of you who are like me, help me fact check this, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure this is right.
I want all those judges to come on and answer questions. I want to ask them why they didn't demand, because they're an officer of the court, that Tom Sneddon be indicted for falsifying evidence in the Michael Jackson trial. And I was a witness. I was right there in the courtroom, watched him get caught, false fingerprints evidence, the phone evidence that they tried to create to say there was conspiracy and all these phone charges, half a day on that. Then Sneddon wanted to withdraw it from the evidence pool in the court. No. The defender, Tom Mesereau, said, that stays on. Judge said, you're right, it's already been entered, it stays. And the jury looked at all this false evidence and said, there's no way we can convict this guy. Tom Sneddon should be serving time in prison. You cannot falsify evidence and then just say, oh, we lost the case. No, no. He had that boy put his fingerprints on the magazine at the grand jury. And the reason we know that, because the alert Tom Mesereau, the defense attorney, got the grand jury transcript. And one of the grand jurors said, shouldn't that boy be wearing gloves? Then after the grand jury, they sent it out for fingerprints analysis. So where did the boy get his fingerprint on the magazine when the boy testified he hadn't even been at Neverland for months when that magazine was published? Yet he claimed that was the magazine Michael Jackson gave him in bed. And Tom Sneddon directed all that testimony.
So I think it's time to talk about Neverland Ranch, because so many people keep bringing up Michael Jackson's name as it pertains to the Epstein files. Now, a lot of people are saying that Michael Jackson has been a creep and he's been a weirdo, and that is what people have thought about him for decades, that he was always weird, liking little kids and all these different things. But the evidence shows otherwise. The evidence shows that he has never done anything wrong. In fact, the evidence shows that he created Neverland Ranch as a safe place for kids to go because he knew all of the sinister things that was happening in Hollywood. Perhaps Neverland was a place that the kids can go to be free from the demons at places like Epstein Island. Now, we know Macaulay Culkin, the Home Alone kid, right? He said just now, he came out a couple days ago, I think, and he said that Michael Jackson never did anything to any kid ever at Neverland Ranch. This is somebody who was at Neverland Ranch. And he said Michael Jackson, if anything, just loved them. He loved the kids. And let's not forget that Macaulay Culkin is the same person who said in the interview, said he was better off because kids go through what he went through, but at least he's rich from it. He feels sorry for the kids who go through what he went through and they have nothing from it. Like they have nothing to show for it. He said that the abuse that he suffered is a little bit better because at least at the end of it, he has something to show for it. So this is a kid who has been in the industry and has been through so much. And we know a lot of Macaulay Culkin's history. He's saying that Michael Jackson Neverland Ranch was just a safe. People are saying that Neverland Ranch was created as the opposite, the polar opposite of places like Jeffrey Epstein's Island. And that's exactly what I think. And mind you, I'm not the biggest Michael Jackson fan, but I think the evidence points toward that. But of course, because he's dead, it's easy to throw somebody who's dead under the bus. And that's exactly what they're trying to do with Michael Jackson's name.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from whatever you're watching me from. Yeah, I think probably the world is getting to know the truth. Michael Jackson was fighting for the kids. Michael Jackson was fighting for everyone. But all this greedy corporate America was afraid because they were so powerful and they could do things to people that really tried to fight them. They really did well in sabotaging like Michael Jackson. But as time goes by, I think you've heard the reactions of people when people realized that Michael Jackson indeed was innocent. There were key witnesses that were involved because Michael Jackson was accused of a child molester, also what we call the pedophile. So this is what happened. All the kids that were young at that time, that was something that stood out. These rich oligarchs, these rich people, they went to their parents and apparently or allegedly told them that we are offering you certain kind of money. You just need to frame Michael. Talk to your kid. Tell them that there is something which is wrong with Michael. Or tell the press that your kid told you this about Michael. But as time goes by, you know, something which is done in the dark, as the saying goes, will one day come to the light. And I think this was the perfect example of doing something in the dark and coming to the light. So many years later, people are now coming to understand that what Michael Jackson was trying to tell people was the truth. And in fact, he was trying to protect the kids. The Neverland that everyone was talking about, it was to protect the kids. And that's what he did best. He built all that castle to protect the kids from the greedy, from the grotesque America. All these people that do all these crazy things to kids, right? Because look at the Epstein file that was released recently. It is attached to what is really happening because there's a mentioning of Michael Jackson. But look at what the mentioning of Michael Jackson is. The mentioning of Michael Jackson only proves that he is innocent. That's what it proves. So there were key witnesses in regards to this. We had a lady called Johanna Joburg. Johanna Joburg, one of Epstein's massage therapists. And this is what he said. She, in her 2016, testified in her 2016 deposition that she met MJ at Epstein's Palm Beach home, but explicitly said she never messaged him or saw any inappropriate behavior involving him. She also goes on and says that she also noted that meeting other celebrities like David Copperfield there, but no crimes were alleged against Michael Jackson. There's also a photo in the files showing MJ posing with Epstein next to a painting, but sources emphasize it's not linked to any criminal activity, and there is no evidence MJ knew about or participated in Epstein's crimes. No flight logs tied to him, to Epstein's island or trafficking network. Some online narratives claim that the files prove MJ was trying to protect people from Epstein. It's crazy. Now let's look at the court acquittals and investigations. That's what we're going to be looking at. Now, MJ faced major accusations in 1993, settled out on court and full criminal trial in 2005 over child molestation claims. He was acquitted on all 14 counts after a jury trial, with no convictions ever. The FBI assisted local authorities to over a decade, that's 1992 to 2005, and found nothing to charge him with, including threats against him from others. Critics argue that in 1993, the 1993 settlement that around 20 million bucks looks suspicious, but MJ's team framed it as avoiding a drawn-out civil case while he maintained innocence publicly. There are a couple of interviews that these kids did. Probably they're a little bit older now. Not a little bit, but they are now older. Right? Several people who spent time with MJ as children have gone on record defending him. Often in interviews, court testimonies, or public statements, they describe his behavior as innocent and childlike, attributing sleepovers and closeness to his Peter Pan personality from a lost child. Let's talk about Macaulay Culkin. He's the most famous kid. When you watch his movie called, there's this movie back then in 2000 when we were kids. Baby's Day Out. Yeah, probably famous. I also saw him appearing in Michael Jackson's song Black or White, the introductory part of the song when this kid, the stubborn kid, puts a music system and then blows off his dad to the space. Yeah, so the Home Alone star was close to MJ from age 10 to around 1990. I was not born, and testified in the 2005 trial that nothing inappropriate ever happened. And in 2019, in a Esquire interview, he reiterated, "He never did anything to me. I never saw him do anything." He called the allegations absolutely ridiculous and said MJ was like Big Brother. Culkin also addressed sleepovers, saying they were platonic movie nights with no weirdness or anything that these people are trying to put to MJ. Corey Feldman also came out, another child actor who hung out with MJ in the 80s, started around age 13. In multiple interviews, including the 2013 memoir Choreography and a 2020 documentary, My Truth, Feldman said MJ was never inappropriate and actually helped him spot real abusers in Hollywood. He emphasizes MJ's innocence. Michael was not that guy. Right. Brett Barnes met MJ at age 9, 1989, and visited Neverland often. And he testified in 2005 that no abuse occurred and has defended him since. In 2019 interview on the MJ Cast podcast, Barnes said that sleepovers were innocent fun, like watching cartoons, and that the accusers were lying for money. His sister, Kali, also testified similarly. I hope that makes sense. Aaron Carter, the lead singer, brother of Nick Carter, knew MJ as a teen in the early 2000s. In a 2019 TMZ interview, he said that Michael Jackson was really a good guy. Nothing happened between me and Michael. He called the post-death allegations, like in Leaving Neverland, opportunistic. We had other defenders, kids like Ahmed Bati, Omar Bati, who met Michael Jackson in 1996, and Frank Casio from age 5 in 1984, who have also written books or given interviews. Memoir, My Friend Michael Jackson, describing MJ as a mentor with no sexual intent. They point to his naivety as the issue. MJ saw himself as a kid at heart. Tad Jackson, MJ's nephew, has spoken out in interviews like on CBS This Morning in 2019, saying that the atmosphere at Neverland was very innocent with group activities. So I really don't know. Evidence keeps coming out that proves that MJ was innocent. I really don't know what to think about this. So let me know what you think about this video, right? I'll be back and we'll talk about some other things. I'm your host and presenter Tech Stories, but until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony.